Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Side Sportscast, where you already know it's your boys Will and Wudi. We come to break it all down from the court side, the ring side, the sidelines, and for those sports they play outdoors, we outside, we side to side. That's how we ride. And today we riding with a special guest from the ring side. Allow me to introduce to you the Mighty Vesuvius. Yes, sir. What up, V?
How you guys doing? How's it going?
We doing good, man. We glad to be side to side with you today, man. So listen, you look like you just got out the ring.
Close. I was telling James before today. I actually worked on a movie set today. I had a small part in a film. Unfortunately, it's on an NDA, so can't really talk about it right now. And from straight there, I went to the gym, and today happened to be chest day. So you're right.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Will Gaddy will not be wearing a tank top because I ain't got the. It ain't gonna look like that, you know.
I believe in you. I believe. I don't accept negativity. I'm going to drag the best out of you. That's what I'm known.
That's what I'm talking about, man. We're going to talk about shot blockers later in this show, but my man is rejecting the negativity. Get that out of here. That's why it's cool with me. So let's get to know you a little bit. Some of your favorite sports teams and athletes.
All right. Well, as I talk to you guys, in no particular order, I love the Giants. This is Lord's Taylor helmet right here. I'm a big Yankee fan. I love the Knicks. It's in the corner over there, and that's where they're going to stay until they're more relevant. And my Rangers, too, who didn't do too well in the playoffs this year, but
they did pretty well. I mean, I know they didn't reach, the promised land, but they –
there's some young guys. I see some potential, but we'll wait and see. So,
yeah. Hey, man, the Rangers actually, I thought it was a lock for them, but
I was getting excited. I was telling my friends, I was like, hey, if they're playing Stanley Cup at the Garden, we're just gonna have to pony up and go. Sorry, price is the price. But oddly enough, when they were playing Tampa Bay, I looked up prices, and this is true. You could get a better seat in Tampa when they were playing there, fly down there, stay, and come back for less than the price it would take to go to MSG. The tickets were absolutely crazy. I mean, you couldn't even get in the building for some games for less than $800. And you're not having a good seat, obviously.
Yeah, that's pretty much to sit on the roof.
Yeah. It's not bad up there. I was up there for I think it was a Duke Texas Tech game. That's when Zion and Barrett were there. It was good times. Yeah. And actually, it's someone who I was actually kind of surprised never became a star on Texas Tech was Culver, Jarrett Culver. I don't know if they want to use him, if they don't like him. I don't know. He's someone I actually thought would do well.
I thought the Timberwolves would be using him from day one.
Yeah.
But, hey, who knows? Maybe a better scenery, maybe better scenario.
Like a scenery change.
Good for him.
Timberwolves is like the big boys now. So they got rid of between Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns.
So I want to know, right? Because you said it's chest day, right? It looked like you got out of the ring. We talking to the Mighty Vesuvius. Who are some of the wrestlers that inspired you to become the Mighty V that we see before us today?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question. A lot of the guys that inspired me happen to be in the same exact class where I perfected my wrestling craft, which is Dory Funk Jr. down in Ocala, Florida. Guys, if you want to wrestle, you can go there. You still got it. He's pushing 80, but he's a very strong man. I got him doing dumbbell snatches in the gym in the 70s. So, and some of the guys I worked out, and they were in the same class were the Hardys, Edge and Christian, Kurt Angle, Mark Henry. All those guys I love.
That's
also,
one of the most elite classes I've ever heard.
Yeah. That's like when I heard that, I was just like, those guys are that's where I gotta go. And eventually, like, I made my way down there, and the way it works in wrestling classes, the alphas kind of band together. That's just how it is. You kind of smell each other out. So I worked with guys, Wes Briscoe, who's the son of Jerry Briscoe, Shane Chung, who's an excellent worker, Pete Casa, also goes by Pete Casanova, and Corey Weston, who was Wesley Blake with NXT. He won the tag title with them. And I just heard that was it CYN, that wrestling brand? They just came back. He's with them now, along with some.
Braun Strowman out here trying to control his narrative.
With me, I started in Pensacola, New Jersey, wrestling for Doc Diamond. It was called Devastation Wrestling. It wasn't the greatest school, to be honest with you. It was okay.
Doc, we come for you, Doc. We come for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you can come for me if you want to. I'll take it. I take all comers. So,
wow, man, that makes me want to ask you. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes. Oh, please.
Your finishing move and your favorite wrestling finishing move of all time.
There you go. Here we go. Well, I have two moves I use, and one of them I wanted to perfect to a point where I don't even want anyone to use it, and that's the super kick. And because I did Jeet Kune Do since I was 7 years old, I have a mean side kick, and I could hit it on anybody. And I hit it on someone that was 6'8", over 300 pounds. So it takes a little flexibility to get it up that high, a little practice. I mean, you work on it. To be honest, the best exercise for that is just hanging leg raises. Hanging leg raises help your kicks. Do them all the time.
Jeet Kune Do. That's straight from Bruce Lee, right? That's his.
Yes, sir. My father had a car wash. And across from his car wash, there was a studio teaching Jeet Kune Do and kickboxing. So that's where I went. If it was anything else, that's what I would have learned, but that's what happened to be.
If it was archery, you'd be out here with the bow.
I'd be a Hawkeye, going around.
All right. And what's your
my other move? Well, it's something I invented. It came from Jeet Kune Do. It's actually, if there's a technical term for it, it'd be a hammerlock half Nelson bulldog. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna adjust the camera a little bit so I could show you how it's done.
The first demonstration is.
So let's say I'm the victim here. So you get the guy in a wrist lock. This is the side we work, fellas. If you're working, this is a wrist lock. Kick him in the gut. So he's bent over. Put the arm behind. Then I get him in a half Nelson on the other side.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on the side with him, holding it. And then we jump, and I sit with it. Okay. So
wait, so it's like a bomb? Like you guys both are
sort of. It's closer to a pedigree because he's taking a full face bump.
It is to the face. Okay, yeah. Okay,
So I sit with it, and because I sit with it, and I'm taking a bump as well, it's a very loud noise, and I always get a nice pop from it. I'll pull back the curtain a little bit so the guys knows how it's done. It's done safely. So I sit with it, but at the very last second, I move my arms so they can take a proper face bump. Because if you do the move for real, who knows?
I actually know because I've done a real pedigree, and my man is out for a little bit. That's my boy, though. I love him.
Actually, you'd be great at wrestling. I remember you saying about it because you have long hair. I used to have longer hair, and it makes the moves look better.
Hey man, look, we might have a match one day. I'll be the referee.
Yeah,
Wudi can be here.
No. We're doing a triple threat match.
Next
referee.
Triple threat match. Right. I'm gonna drop kick Wudi off the top rope. Right? All right.
That's what I say. I'll make you guys look good. You're gonna go through hell. Well, I'll make you guys look good.
That's all I ask. That's all I ask.
It's still real to me. Always. So
yes,
that's awesome, man. Great stuff.
Quick wrestling story, if you guys want to hear about. There's
of course
a match I was in down in South Carolina wrestling for C4W, which I kind of missed. They're not around anymore. I was their Southern Heavyweight champion for a bit. I was full on heel. I love being heel. I like the fact that you can get a grown man to step out of his seat and stand up and yell at him, and I tell him like get a job or make his next Facebook status a suicide note. I say mean things. Or one of my favorite things to do is, well, I happen to usually be a heartthrob on the show. So the women like me, but they hate that they have to hate me. So a thing I like to do, I like to take my shirt off and fake like I'm going to throw it to one of them. And I usually lock eyes with one person. And right when I'm about to throw it, I just throw it on the ground. Smile.
That's a classic. That's a classic.
So,
I think I've seen this. I can't remember if I've seen that. I feel like that's something like CM Punk. Well, definitely something MJF would do.
Yeah.
But I feel like
well, he'd probably do it with the scarf though.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't blame him. You don't throw that away. You keep that.
Yeah.
You do not throw that away. Hickey ring too.
Absolutely.
So the story is, I was doing a match, and we decided we actually got a little influence from Chikara, if anyone's familiar with that. We're like, hey, let's do like a Mortal Kombat style match. I happened to be face later on. I just did a turn, and I was Johnny Cage because they acted, and I was kind of building up to it. I had signed headshots, and when I beat somebody, I said to my number one fan and threw a headshot on top of him and walked out of the ring. So we decided to do this one match where actually I was fighting one of the guys on the other side. He happens to be on AEW right now. It goes by the name of Wheeler Yuta. Real name Paul. He's an excellent worker. And we decided we were going to do a fatality, which was like we knew we were gonna do. Like I knew I was throwing shadow kicks because I'm doing super kicks because I'm Johnny Cage, and I was just doing moves left and right. And he came into the ring, and what we decided to do is something that's not used often. We were doing something where it looks like I break his neck, which it's all on him at that point. He has to completely sell it, so it looks like I break his neck, and he just totally sells it, flops right on the ground. He's out. They say fatality. His partner has to pull him out, drag him all the way to the rope so he can tag himself in because he's dead. So finish the rest of the match. Man, that was a good one. We had
well, you know what they said. Finish him. He was definitely finished. But we gonna talk because we gotta talk about that NBA offseason. All right.
Yes, sir.
That is the hottest thing going on right now. Right. We got KD, who pretty much has everything on lockdown right now. I mean, I think we all want KD to finish this decision. All right. I mean, everybody is just waiting to make their move, waiting for him to make his move so that they can make theirs. Gentlemen,
is he going to have a decision like somebody else did?
Say that again?
Is he going to have the decision like somebody else did?
No, it's really weird because KD isn't even a free agent, right? He's just a dude who requested a trade, but he's got so much power and control of where he can go. Normally, back in the day, when you request a trade, okay, we're going to send you back to OKC. We're going to send you wherever we need to get the best that we can get in return. And nowadays, if you're a megastar like Kevin Durant is, when you request a trade, they want to honor you. They want to respect you. They want to send you where you want to go, but they don't want to do it for pennies because they don't want to get strong-armed by the other team. So KD has free agency locked down right now. DeAndre Ayton can't even sign where he wants to because it may be a sign and trade. And there's just a lot of things going on. If I had to bet what's going to happen with Kevin Durant, I'm going to say there's going to be a 3-team trade, possibly 4 teams. And it's going to be between the Brooklyn Nets, the Indiana Pacers, the Utah Jazz, and the Phoenix Suns. And I'll tell you who's going where, I'll tell you who's going where. Because today, Danny Ainge said that they're open to trading Donovan Mitchell. So I'm just going to name the major pieces. Now, there's going to be a lot of chips and picks that fill in. But I got KD going to Phoenix. I got DeAndre Ayton going to Utah. And I got Donovan Mitchell going to Brooklyn. And Indiana is not trying to be good because they want to have that pick next year where Victor Wembanyama from France is going to be the next stud coming in. So if you ask me, I think it's going to be a 4-team trade. I think that's why it's taking so long, and that's where I got the players going. What do you fellas think?
I actually like the way you think. It could happen because I was telling Wudi before, like I had some notes for for Durant, and I sort of like after the news I read today, I was like I sort of just like threw them out. The Pacers, you're correct on that. They're going to be a roster dump kind of area, a salary dump area. There's another team. I'm spacing it right now, but there's another team it's in that mode too. Ayton, yeah, I actually think this Durant's future is depending on Ayton actually to see where he goes. I was like looking what the Nets did. Really, just they signed like T.J. Warren, I guess, but like that was like nothing, like a year for 1.8. But what I read today is Nets are apparently in heavy talks with the Raptors, but I don't know if it's going to happen because they need a monumental haul. They said they don't want to get rid of Scotty Barnes, but there might be a package deal with Siakam, Anunoby, and Gary Trent Jr. I know they're exploring like those kind of options. I don't know if it's going to happen. I mean, it's a haul. I mean, it's like that kind of trade is gutting the team, but yeah. What do you think, Wudi?
Yeah, I'll say right now that 14 trade that sounded like something straight from Will Gaddy's diary, right? You know, we know he wants KD, he wants that win. You know, he wants Chris Paul to not be a loser like he is. You know, the choke god. But
oh, geez, yeah.
Hey, no negativity.
Yes. I love Chris Paul. I want to see him do well. But
there you go.
Right, he's not getting any younger. He's got to stay on the court.
He's definitely not getting any younger. So, I mean, we'll see. I actually don't know. I actually don't even know if they will indeed honor his request when it comes down to it, because I think the Nets are tired of, you know, getting shafted by all these deals. I mean, between, you know, all the different moves that they made, and the last one was really, you know, to acquire James Harden. They have no picks for like 8 years. I think my son will graduate high school. He's in diapers, just to let you guys know. I think he will graduate high school before the Nets, you know, get a first round pick, unless they get a haul right now for Kevin Durant, who does not, right, have a no trade clause. I think, you know, the Nets are really taking their time to get the best possible deal on the table. The old school, you know, that Will Gaddy was just saying happens in the old school. I think that's going to happen this year, today, with Josiah, who's a horrible GM, by the way, and Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
That last point that just made.
And then, like, I heard Kyrie and Kevin still want to play together. I don't know if it's possible, but that's what they said. I also think the media kind of blew it out of proportion. I think like Durant went in there and said, listen, I wouldn't mind if you guys traded me. I'll play here if I have to, but I wouldn't mind if you guys traded me. And he was probably calm about it because he seems like a calm guy. And the media's like, Kevin Durant wants to trade. What are you going to do? So, and then you have Stephen A. going on there. Kyrie, you're the enemy number one in New York.
Yeah, man. And Kyrie is another name. Kyrie to LA seems like it's a done deal. It's just waiting on the Kevin Durant chips to move. You know, nobody in the league wants Kyrie, and it's crazy. You know, I know Kyrie didn't show up to some games, but the talent is still there. And I think if he
100%.
winds up in LA, it's going to be a actual. That's where he fits, man. He needs that leadership from he who we will not name, just to please Wudi, you know. But yeah. So let's talk about some, KD, Kyrie dominating the news. What are some other low key, very good free agency pickups that caught your guys' attention, or one that hasn't been made yet that you're rubbing your hands together? You're like, I want to see this happen.
You know what? If you guys don't mind me taking it here,
Of course.
I made some notes here. The Celtics actually surprised me with trading for Brogdon and signing Gallo. Like Gallo's he's a good role player, but Brogdon coming in, just a little depth at that guard area. I mean, Schroeder had to go, but he's a role player. He's a great player. And the other big one I thought was actually leaving the Nets was Bruce Brown going over to the Nuggets. So I thought he had a really great season. I mean, DFS. I was playing him every single week, and I made a amount of money plugging Bruce Brown in. I mean, he was cheap for a while there, and then eventually Yahoo caught on and said, "We have to raise this guy's price." So.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Was actually who I was going to say was the Celtics. Out here, they are trying to reload. Like they are really, really trying to buck that trend of the young team that loses in the finals and then fades away. I mean, they are completely reloading. They got the point guard, they got Gallo, they got shooting. Right now, they don't have to depend on Derek White having the game of his life more than once. Right, because Gallo can actually shoot a basketball. Right, so can Grant Williams, so can Tatum. Right, so can Brogdon. Like now, they actually have the shooters to match. And with Brogdon, you have 3 and D. Right now, you have defenders. You have the reigning defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart.
Yes.
Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Williams down the paint. How many shots did he change in the paint over the course of this season? Over the course of his career, I'm telling you right now, these Celtics, they are hungry. They are starving. And I don't know. I mean, these moves that they're making are definitely, they got me. Well, I can't even say they got me shivering because I'm a Knicks fan. So, I mean, I'm dead. I've been dead. I've been jacking the Titanic since 1999, just dead. But if I was in a live team, a team that actually mattered, like all the other teams in the Atlantic Division, I would be shivering at the moves of the Boston Celtics.
I like this. There's a joke I like to say. I know what it's like to love unconditionally and get nothing in return. I'm a Knicks fan.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah. I'll tell you one move that I really, by the way, just to piggyback off of you guys, I think Boston actually nailed it. Getting Malcolm Brogdon, who he's a combo guard, but he can run the point, he can facilitate. And, he gives you some shooting and some defense. He's a combo guard. He's actually the perfect fit. He doesn't have to start. He can start. He's going to be in the game for the minutes that matter. And I also, Gallo, scoring off the bench. One of the main reasons why they lost the championship is outside of Tatum and Jaylen Brown, and sometimes Marcus Smart, they didn't have a player who can consistently create their own shot. They don't have that problem anymore because Gallo can get buckets. And he is like a more of a role player. So Boston really got deep. Now, some of the questionable moves that I actually have is, the Portland Trailblazers officially have maybe one of the most expensive backcourts in the history of the league now. Dollar, who he's really putting every emphasis in that name with a 2-year, $22 million extension, right? After he tweeted, it's only but so long you could be loyal. And it's like, wait, hold on, man. Let's pay this dude. Like he knew what he was doing. To me, Dame is the boy crying wolf. You just can't believe him. Every time he cries to leave, he gets paid, right? I think he knows what he's doing now. But the Anthony Simons signing, I love Anthony Simons, but 4 years, $100 million. Now you just have Dame and CJ 2.0. You just got a younger player, maybe a little bit more athletic. And you got no room to add anybody else to the team. I want to ask you guys, do you think around the trade deadline, Dame Lillard is going to ask for a trade?
No. I truly do not believe that's in his character. I don't think he's going to demand a trade, no matter what. I think he should have been demanding a trade for the last 6 years, but he hasn't. And I do agree that the Trailblazers, for lack of a better word, this isn't even a real word, but they are whining. All right, they don't know what they're doing. They're just paying these boys too much money to literally run it back. You didn't want, you didn't like what you had with CJ and Dame and Terry Stotts, so you hire unproven Billups and now get Anthony Simons. Neither of those moves are actual bona fide upgrades from what you had. But you sunk so much money into these upgrades trying to sell the dream, sell the Kool-Aid, if you will, to Portland. And I think Dame should demand a trade, coming this All-Star break. I think he should have been doing it for the last 5-6 years, but I don't think it's in his character to do so. I think he's just going to enjoy that money. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, when I saw the Dame signing, the first thing I said was why? Because he said he wanted to stay there forever, but it's like I didn't believe that when I heard it. Was CJ Ellaby? Is he still there? He was a role player there. Nurkic, I know they re-signed him. That's somebody they need.
Yeah,
was it? Did they I'm sorry. Did they sign Eubanks too? Did they re-sign him? Because he filled in really nicely when Nurkic was injured for most of the season.
I'm not actually sure.
A good point. I don't think Eubanks is officially signed yet.
Oh, so he's still free. Jeez. I mean, he filled in nicely. He can play the 4 or 5. So
I'm telling you, bare bones. It's a bare bones organization.
Yeah, I mean, Dame. He is one of my favorite players in the game. I also am a fan of his shoes. He has the Dame 7, the Ric Flair shoes. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. They look like they're like blue gaiters. And so they have a hard time taking these gaiters off. Dame's a big wrestling guy. He has Stone Cold shoes too. So he just released a new one today called the Dame 8. I think it's called I Love Myself. It was kind of an odd. They don't look the greatest, I'll be honest. But the Dame 7s, all those are great. Going back to some odd signings. Actually, no, it was a good signing or a decent signing. I'd say for the Bucks signing Joe Ingles, so they can have more perimeter shooting. He's not like the best player, but he's an excellent role player, and it's somebody they can use, especially since DiVincenzo went over to the Warriors, and now they have even more shooting. So,
absolutely,
yeah. I mean, definitely some shooting. Lord knows they need it. All right, because they were struggling. But I don't know. I don't know how much that's going to move the needle. Probably in the playoffs itself. It would definitely move it because they needed shooting against the Celtics. They probably could have won that series if they had some shooting, which they did not. They did not, right? They didn't have Chris Middleton. They had nothing. So now this at least opens it up a little bit because Joe Ingles, that boy can shoot. I don't care how old he is. The boy is still shooting. So should definitely pay off come playoff time for sure.
Yeah, I really like the Joe Ingles signing.
Excuse me?
No, I was just saying I really like the Joe Ingles signing. I really think the Bucks. I think the Bucks and the Celtics are going to be the top 2 Eastern Conference teams. Might get another 7 games to go to the finals this time.
All right. Well, I mean, we don't know if this man KD takes his talents to South Beach. We'll have to see what that roster looks like. What they gave up to make it happen. But I'm really cautious on saying anything. Making any conclusions until Wanda's baby boy decides where he's going to play this, or not even decides when we know where Wanda's baby boy is playing this year.
Let's just hope he's not back in Golden State.
You know what? I made a note for Golden State. I was just like, it's not going to happen. Like they have to give up so much, and these guys have started coming on. They just re-signed Looney, who all of a sudden he's a 10-10 guy. He's like, well, where did this come from? Because like I always thought he was more of a, I don't know, a 6 and 8. Like maybe he get 10 rebounds, and all of a sudden like he was being consistent in the playoffs. So it's just like, where this loony come from? And you guys have like Kuminga coming through, and a couple other guys. Really like just really surprising you.
Yeah.
Obviously, Poole was the biggest surprise of all.
Yeah, Looney definitely stepped up. And speaking about stepping up, let's transition over to the NFL sidelines for a second, because a lot of teams this offseason stepped their game up. And I'll tell you what, I'll start off with a team that really kind of caught my eye. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. They made it to the Super Bowl. They didn't win. This team had a lot of problems protecting Joe Burrow throughout the year. And what do they go do this offseason? They make 2 big moves on the offensive line. And one of those moves is they sign the guard from Tampa Bay, Alex Kappa, who was just playing on maybe the best line in the league. And then to solidify the right tackle spot, they signed La'el Collins. So the Bengals are putting an emphasis in the trenches. And who knows what type of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase we're going to get this year, but he's going to have more time to throw the football. And, a team that just made the Super Bowl, some people may say is by fluke. I actually think this team is here to compete consistently. I think they're back. And to me, that's one of the significant upgrades in the league.
Well, let's agree to disagree, because the Bengals, they ain't going anywhere this year, man. Get out of here, man. I mean, they're all right. They're good, right? They did the Cinderella story last year. That was nice. All right. Then the clock struck midnight. Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, no look. All right. Then we all went home. All right. The slipper is off. And the team that I'm going to say won the offseason this offseason is actually a divisional foe. The Baltimore Ravens are just stealthily swimming under the radar. Okay. Just got that fin up. All right. Just got that fin up. There's sharks in the ocean. Lamar is about to go off. And I'm telling you right now, every move that they made, all right, is just old school, hard-hitting football. Their draft, they had the best draft in the NFL, okay? They got Kyle Hamilton, Tyler Linderbaum, David Ojabo. These are guys that pretty much had the highest ceilings for their positions in the draft. I know Ojabo, had an unfortunate situation, but still, I mean, premium talent. So Ojabo's probably not going to be there week 1. He's actually definitely not going to be there. But Hamilton and Linderbaum will, right? They bolstered up the offensive line themselves with a right tackle signing of their own that cost a lot less, okay? And Morgan Moses, I'm telling you, the only thing that the Ravens don't have, the only position that's not completely stacked is the wide receiver position. And that's why people don't like the Ravens, right? Because they're not fantasy cute. All right, they're not fantasy pretty, but they are smash mouth football, and they're going to do some work. They're actually my pick to win the AFC North this year. I'm telling you, Action Jackson, we all need to look out.
Nick, he's right on that. Unfortunately, Wudi, I'm going with Gaddy. I'm sorry. The Bengals, the defense, which everyone thought was dreadful going into last season, they stepped their game up. They actually performed pretty well. Going into obviously they didn't do too great in the Super Bowl. They didn't have protection, but now he does. The one bad thing against them was that I have written down here is they did lose C.J. Uzomah. Uzomah was clutch for them, and now they have Hayden Hurst. So the immortal Hayden Hurst from the Ravens. So I don't know. I think the Bengals are going to take a division, but it will be a battle with the Ravens. The one thing I don't like about the Ravens, actually the one thing I wrote down, you're right about the wide receiver spot. I just wrote no Marquise Brown because I was just like, who's he throwing to? But they do get J.K. Dobbins back, which is a huge deal. he was supposed to be a big player last year.
Yep.
The defense it's kind of a question mark. They have a great secondary, but the front seven, I just don't know yet. I just don't know. But it's going to be between them because obviously the Browns have they have their own problems to deal with. I don't think we have to get into that. My prediction is a 10-game suspension that gets lowered down to 6. That's just my prediction. It's just how these things go. And then obviously Steelers, roll the dice.
I like every team in that division. I actually don't think there's a bad team in that division. The Browns,
they could all compete.
Yeah, they can. I
especially since the Steelers and the Browns are both power running teams because they're just throwing Chubb and Hunt out. That's been their identity for a while. Now they have whenever Watson comes in. Now who knows how it's going to go with him and Cooper and
Yeah, well now they got. I mean they got weapons. They got weapons. Deshaun's got weapons, and then Njoku just got an extension. Yeah. I'm telling you, they're a good team. The Steelers, people are like, oh, Big Ben retired, not realizing that Big Ben was an abomination to the quarterback position the last 3 years that he played. So throw in Mitch Trubisky. Right. He could be rejuvenated. Maybe it was the stank of Matt Nagy. Right? I think that the Steelers could have a great year. I think the Browns could have a great year. I know the Ravens could have a great year, and the Bengals, we'll see.
I don't know, man. I think we sleeping on the Bengals. Last year, one of the targets, not just target for the quarterback to attack, but target for everybody on social media was Eli Apple. And this year in the draft,
I know about that guy.
Of course, as a Giants fan, that apple got bit through it. That apple got worms in it, man. It's not, you can't trust it. Right? But I'm going to tell you guys, Cam Taylor-Britt, the draft pick from the Cincinnati Bengals, is going to unseat Eli Apple. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's a feisty corner. The Bengals had a very underrated good draft. They got solid players. They got good coaching over there. I just think that the Bengals, that young team, man, they got a team over there, and it's going to be really competitive. I'm saying, watch out for them Bengals. Don't know if they're going back to the Super Bowl, but if they can't, if it was a playoff matchup between Bengals and Ravens, I'm going Bengals, right? Lamar Jackson, you got to get that contract, but we'll see what happens. Now, what are some other? What did you say?
Mixon's there too.
Yeah, Mixon. They don't have a weak area on their depth chart, like their interior defensive line with DJ Reader and I think BJ Hill. They're tough inside. Then you got Trey Hendrickson on the outside. You got Sam Hubbard. They literally don't. Eli Apple is the only weakness. Jesse Bates, one of the best corners in the league. They just signed Von Bell. Like, the Bengals are for real. Like, I'm just looking at them like, wow, man, they're trying to make it back. So I don't know. I'm on this Bengals hype right now, and I'm not going to play.
That one weakness was what I just said was the tight end position. Hayden Hurst, who knows what he has left. But the good thing they have 3 very quality receivers. Because they also have T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd. So,
yep, exactly. So, what are some other teams that you think stepped their game up this offseason?
Okay,
the entire AFC West. Besides the
actually, that was I put that on the back page. That's what I just have. Actually, I've only one team got worse, 3 teams got better.
Yeah, so here's the thing, because I'm assuming you're going to say
the team that got worse is this guy's team right here. He lost Tyreek Hill. That's a major. I mean, do you really think Juju and MVS are the answers? I don't know. I didn't like that he lost Pringle. Pringle was a really big red zone target for him. I mean, the guy he put yards, but he was that open guy there.
Tyreek Hill. He is, in my opinion, he's a top 5 receiver in the league. All right. Fastest man alive. The cheetah. Okay, still want to see him face Usain Bolt. But one receiver, to Andy Reid, to an all-time great like Patrick Mahomes, even in this young career. I mean, I think a move that isn't getting the respect that it deserves is their signing of Ronald Jones, who has been one of the most underutilized backs in the entire NFL. The man is a starting running back that Bruce Arians, I don't know if, one day by accident, I don't know, maybe he, peed on Arians, shoe or something, but Arians is out to get Ronald Jones, and he brought in Lenny Fournette, which they didn't need. They brought in Gio Bernard, which they didn't need. All right, now they drafted Keyshawn Vaughn, they didn't need. Ronald Jones was doing work anytime that he did have a fumble issue. That was it. That was it. But when he was holding on to the ball, he was getting yards, consistent yardage. He has solid hands, all right, catching that football. I think now we're going to see a little bit more of a run-oriented Kansas City team, which when they've been run first, they've been amazing, right? That's almost like a cheat code to let Patrick actually chill. They've done too much throwing of late, and I think that's actually hurt them. All right, so now you have the two-headed attack, which they haven't had in a little bit of time. I think now Patrick Mahomes and that offense will be well balanced enough that I don't even know if they are at a minus losing Tyreek Hill. I truly don't.
Question: do you think in this same division, the LA Chargers, with the addition of Khalil Mack, does Khalil Mack still have something to offer? The signing of J.C. Jackson, one of the most shutdown corners in the league, you can't even argue it. Can they finally make the playoffs with Justin Herbert?
And
they're the
Zion
best
Johnson
roster
right guard
in that division.
Their rook. It was the one new another addition on the line there.
I think they can. I think we can expect to see it. I mean, it's obviously going to be super tough because all four teams really have playoff rosters, right? If we're being honest, all four teams, in any given year would be a playoff team. But now this is the 1 year, and they're all in it together. But there's no reason why the Chargers shouldn't make it. I mean, it's really up to Herbert and the coaching staff, right? Because those are the two people to blame for last year's debacle, where they were pretty much in the playoffs and said, let's just sit out this year, and just pretty much just gave it to the Raiders, right? So I think at this point, we're not even going to be in that scenario. Like, they will actually be a playoff team. And they have one of the best rosters in the entire league. So I'm pretty high on the Chargers.
That is definitely going to be the most competitive division in.
I was about to say, that's going to be a battle.
That's going to be a battle. I mean, the AFC West, the AFC North, it's going to be two divisions that are out there grinding. But fellas, we could talk about the NFL all night. But right now, it's time to hear us out real quick. So, fans of the Side to Side Sports Nation, this is where we speak directly to any fan base, player, or any type of sports figure and let them know what's on our heart. And I am not a New York Knicks fan, but I want to speak to the New York Knicks organization. Just real quick. I'm not even here to, don't shake your head, Wudi, because I'm not here to bash the Knicks or disrespect the Knicks. But I do think the Knicks are about to make a mistake because the Knicks is so thirsty. They need a star. We need a star in New York. I feel like getting a star in New York means more than actually putting a team together that can win. Because if the Knicks go get Donovan Mitchell, he is going to absolutely not do anything to advance this franchise. Now, Donovan Mitchell is he can play. I'm not going to use the word great. I take that word back. He is a star, not a superstar. He's a volume scorer, a bona fide scorer. But Danny Ainge looks at him as somebody who cannot be the face of the franchise. He's going to go to New York and guess what? Be the face of the franchise. Should he be? No. but now you're bringing in that contract. You're going to sacrifice who knows what to get him. And personally, I don't think it's a good move. Knicks, you should stay away from Donovan Mitchell. Keep playing the game. I mean, the team is, I know you signed Jalen Brunson, but try to build another way. Build your team. Draft a point guard for once. Oh, well, you just signed Jalen Brunson, so that's out the door. Draft a scorer. Do something different. Donovan Mitchell's going to come. He's going to average nearly 30 games. First or second round exit in the playoffs. Once again, then all of a sudden, everybody's going to be mad at that signing. Knicks, steer clear. Steer clear. It's almost like when you gave up, you had a really good team with Amari Stoudemire, and before you went and gave up everything to get Melo, that team was actually looking like it can gel and become competitors. Then you dumped everything to get Melo, and then that just didn't work. Every year it just unraveled a little bit more. So,
including Gallinari. It still hurts today.
Exactly. So, Knicks, I'm just saying, be warned. New York Knicks, be warned.
Wow. Well, I guess New York is going to be touched on a little bit more today, as I wore the shirt. I don't always wear Jets clothes. I actually pretty rarely wear Jets clothes, but I'm wearing just to identify myself as a member of Gang Green while I address this very specific person. All right, so hear me out. Zachary, you've become somewhat of an internet legend right now, all right? And I know you most likely use social media and you're seeing the memes and people are hitting you up. And all I can say to you is just stay focused, man. Block out the noise. We actually have no idea, right? No one, right, knows the scenario, what happened, right? Literally, Abby just made a comment on a photo. And now for the last however many days, there are just millions of memes just saying this, saying that, saying this, saying that. None of this is football related. Yes, we used to have a quarterback that was a little bit of a playboy. We called him Broadway Joe, and he, to this day, right, is widely considered the greatest Jet of all time. Now, I know you're looking to lead the Jets back to the promised land. There's a lot of factors out there, but I promise you this: the number one way that you'll be considered in the same conversation as Broadway Joe is to produce on the field. So block out the noise. All right. Call Mike LaFleur every day. All right. Hit up Corey Davis, see what he's doing. Look at Elijah Moore. All right. Say, let's run some routes, right? Keep traveling the country. Keep doing what you're doing. All right. Because I see Mekhi Becton. That boy is getting in shape. All right. Our running backs, they're going to, do the heavy lifting. So if you could just execute like that fool Jimmy G is doing on the West Coast or was doing on the West Coast. All right. If you could just execute, we already know you're more talented than Jimmy. All right. I'm telling you right now, that's all you need to do. Focus and execute, and you will be the biggest legend of the 21st century New York Jets. I promise you that. Zach Wilson, hear me out.
Well said. I know I was sending you some of those Zach Wilson memes. I was thinking he was going to go into the locker room and get some high fives or something. Who knows what's going on there? The stuff's been denied, but they're having fun with it. You know what? Gaddy with the Knicks. I don't know. Like I had it written down. Like, they have Brunson and signing Hartenstein. That's like I can't go there. Yankees. I love them to stay the course. I talk about the Giants and Daniel Jones to see what they're going. But that is what it is right now. This is the final year for that. But what I'm going to talk about is Wudi, your division rival, the Buffalo Bills. Don't be the Buffalo Bills of old. Those they called me the Buffalo Bills in some fantasy leagues. So I'm in the championship year after year after year, and I just didn't win it. I did win it this year. I have a bunch of them in the past, but I still get upset about seeing them in the overtime game. I don't care about the rules. They are what they are. Actually, it's kind of just delayed right now. So each team getting a shot, but it's just overtime. It's just sudden death again. So you still got to make a stop. So what they did at the end of that game is when you let the guys, you could let them go 60 yards, make the field goal. Okay, that's crap in the bed. You let them come and tie the game up. Then in overtime, you let them go the full length of the field and score. That's not just crap in the bed. That's slipping on your own diarrhea. I'm sorry. You just fell straight down, go crazy. I mean, you got to make a stop sometime, and I think they solved that by getting the good luck charm himself, 2-time Super Bowl winner, Von Miller. He is going to captain that defense because they just completely lacked leadership, I thought. All the talent is there for them to, like, make a run, and they just keep making this. Don't be the Bills of old. They just mistake after mistake. I mean, Gaddy and I know the Giants and Cowboys took care of them, and it's just they kept seeing the sunshine and just getting smacked in the face. So, and Mr. Lawrence Taylor, I mean, it wasn't just Phil Simms that got, Mr. Hostetler beat you, a backup quarterback. I mean, nothing can ever go their way. Watch Zach Wilson be the next thing in their way.
He's got some dog in him.
Yeah.
There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, hear us out. Hey, it's been a phenomenal episode with the Mighty Vesuvius. Brother, we appreciate you holding it down, representing the court side and the ring side, and the court side, the sidelines, and we even talked about some ringside, man. Great wrestling stories, man. We can't wait to have you side to side with us again and do this thing often, man. It's been great to have you on.
Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, fellas. I had an excellent time.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, hey, ladies and gentlemen, you already know we want you to come on the Side to Side Sportscast. Call it how you see it. Call it how you saw it. Call out those who didn't see it how you saw it. Let us know what's on your mind about the many trending sports topics taking place in today's time. But until we see you, we out.